Relationships are hard. Whether it's your partner, your family, your friends, or even yourself, navigating relationships can feel like a roller coaster. One minute you're on top of the world, the next you're questioning everything. But here's the truth. The quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life. And most people are stuck repeating the same patterns, having the same arguments, feeling the same frustration, because they don't realize one simple shift can change everything. Most people think relationships fall apart because of the big things, huge fights, betrayal, major disagreements. But the truth? Relationships break down in the small, everyday moments. It's the little things, how you react when your partner forgets something important, the way you listen or don't when a friend is talking, the habits you build or neglect in your daily interactions. These moments add up. They either create trust, connection, and love, or they chip away at it until one day you wake up wondering how you got so distant. The biggest mistake people make in relationships is thinking love is enough. Love is not enough. Love is a feeling, and feelings are temporary. One day you feel completely in sync. The next you're irritated by the way they chew their food. Feelings change. What makes a relationship work isn't love, it's action. It's how you show up. It's the effort you put in. It's the small, daily choices that keep your connection alive even when life gets chaotic. Let's talk about communication, because this is where most relationships start to break down. People assume they're good communicators just because they know how to talk. But communication isn't about talking. It's about understanding. If you're waiting for your turn to speak instead of truly listening, you're not communicating. If you assume you already know what the other person is thinking or feeling without asking, you're not communicating. And if you're expecting someone to read your mind and just know what you need, you're setting your relationship up for failure. Here's something that will change everything. Stop expecting people to know what you need. Say it, ask for it, make it clear. No one can read your mind, not even the person who loves you most. And if you're sitting there feeling resentful because someone isn't giving you what you need, ask yourself, did I actually communicate this? Did I make it clear? Most of the time the answer is no. And let's flip it. If you're constantly misunderstanding your partner or feeling like they're upset but won't tell you why, start asking better questions. Instead of what's wrong, which usually leads to a one-word answer, ask what's been on your mind lately, or how can I support you right now? Those kinds of questions open the door to real connection instead of shutting it down. Now let's talk about conflict, because every relationship has it. If you think a good relationship means never arguing, you're wrong. The difference between healthy and unhealthy relationships isn't the presence of conflict, it's how you handle it. Do you attack each other, or do you attack the problem together? Do you fight to win, or do you fight to understand? Do you listen, or do you just wait for your turn to prove your point? Here's something that will completely shift the way you handle conflict. Assume good intentions. So often we jump to the worst conclusions. They forgot to text back. They must not care. They didn't do the thing they promised. They must be lazy or selfish. But what if instead of assuming the worst, you gave them the benefit of the doubt? What if they were just overwhelmed, distracted, or genuinely forgot? What if it wasn't personal? Most of the time, it's not. When you assume good intentions, you stop making everything a personal attack. You create space for empathy instead of resentment. And that space, that's where connection grows. Now let's talk about one of the biggest relationship killers, unmet expectations. Most of the frustration in relationships comes from expectations that were never communicated. You expect your partner to plan romantic dates, but you never actually told them that matters to you. You expect your friend to check in when you're struggling, but they have no idea what's going on in your head. You assume the people in your life should just know what you want and need, but they don't. And when they don't meet those unspoken expectations, you feel disappointed, hurt, even unloved. So here's what you do. Drop the assumptions. Start the conversations. Instead of expecting, express. Instead of resenting, request. The people in your life want to make you happy. They just need to know how. And let's be real. Sometimes the problem isn't other people. Sometimes the problem is you. Maybe you're bringing old wounds into new relationships. Maybe you're expecting your partner to fix things that only you can heal. Maybe you've been so focused on what you're not getting that you haven't stopped to ask yourself, what am I giving? Because relationships aren't just about what you receive, they're about what you contribute. Love isn't something you get. Love is something you give. And if you want to transform your relationship, stop asking, why aren't they doing this for me? And start asking, how can I show up better for them? Here's another game changer. Take responsibility for your energy. The way you show up every day. The way you walk into a room, the way you react, the way you handle stress, affects every relationship in your life. If you're constantly negative, critical, or emotionally unavailable, people will pull away. If you're always stressed and distracted, they'll feel like they don't matter. But when you bring positive energy, when you make people feel seen, heard, and appreciated, your relationships transform. And this isn't about faking it or pretending to be happy all the time. It's about being intentional with the energy you bring into your relationships. It's about recognizing that the way you show up impacts the way people respond to you. You set the tone. And let's talk about one of the hardest but most important things, boundaries. So many people struggle with setting boundaries because they think it's mean or selfish. But boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're about protecting your energy and creating healthy relationships. They're about knowing what you can and can't tolerate and communicating that with honesty and respect. If you keep saying yes to things that drain you, if you keep letting people treat you in ways that hurt you, if you keep overextending yourself just to keep the peace, you're not being kind, you're being dishonest, you're betraying yourself. And a relationship where you constantly betray yourself just to make someone else comfortable, that's not love, that's self-abandonment. So here's your permission to set boundaries, to say no, to protect your peace, to choose relationships that pour into you instead of just draining you. And if someone doesn't respect your boundaries, that tells you everything you need to know about them. At the end of the day, the relationships in your life, whether romantic, family, or friendships, are a reflection of the way you show up. You can't control other people, but you can control you. You can control how you communicate, how you listen, how you respond to conflict, how you set boundaries, and how you love. And when you make those shifts, when you start showing up differently, the people around you will either rise to meet you or they'll fall away. Either way, you win, because the relationships that are meant for you will grow with you. And the ones that can't, they weren't meant for you in the first place. Relationships are living, breathing things. They need attention, care, and maintenance. You wouldn't plant a seed and then walk away expecting it to grow on its own. You water it, you nurture it, you make sure it's getting the right amount of sunlight. But people treat relationships like they should just work without effort. They assume that if it's the right person, the right friend, the right partner, everything should be easy. That's a lie. The best relationships require work, not exhausting, one-sided work where you're the only one trying, but intentional, consistent effort from both people. One of the worst habits people fall into is taking each other for granted. You stop saying thank you for the little things. You stop showing appreciation because you assume they already know how you feel. You get caught up in your own world, your own stress, and forget that connection isn't something you put on autopilot, it's something you choose every day. The truth is, people don't leave because of one big problem. They leave because of 100 little moments where they felt unseen, unheard, unappreciated. You have to wake up and ask yourself, am I making the people I love feel valued? Because if you're not, someone else will. Gratitude is one of the simplest but most powerful ways to transform your relationships. When was the last time you looked at your partner, your friend, your family member, and told them exactly why you appreciate them? Not just a quick thanks, but something specific. I see how hard you've been working. I notice the little things you do for me. I don't say it enough, but I'm grateful for you. Those words, they matter. They make people feel valued. They make people feel safe. And safety in a relationship is what creates longevity. Let's talk about emotional safety, because this is something most people don't realize they're damaging. The way you react when someone shares something vulnerable with you determines whether they'll open up again. If you dismiss their feelings, if you get defensive, if you turn the conversation back to yourself, they learn that it's not safe to be honest with you. And over time, they stop sharing. That's how emotional walls get built. That's how relationships lose their depth. You want stronger connections? Learn how to hold space. Learn how to listen without rushing to fix. Learn how to sit with someone's emotions without making it about your own discomfort. Another relationship killer, keeping score. You know what I'm talking about. The silent tally of who did what, who apologized last, who put in more effort. Keeping score is poison. It turns your relationship into a competition instead of a partnership. Instead of working as a team, you start resenting each other, seeing every action as either a win or a loss. But in a real healthy relationship, there's no scoreboard. There's only mutual respect, mutual effort, and a shared goal of making each other's lives better. If you want to break out of that cycle, shift your mindset from what am I getting to what am I giving. Instead of waiting for the other person to go first, you go first. You apologize first, you show kindness first, you make the effort first. And if they're the right person for you, whether it's a partner, a friend, or family, they'll meet you there. If they don't, that tells you everything you need to know. Let's talk about attraction, because this is something people get confused about. Attraction isn't just about looks, it's about energy, it's about how you make someone feel. And if you want to keep attraction alive, if you want to maintain that spark, you have to stop treating your partner like a roommate. You have to keep dating them, keep flirting, keep finding ways to surprise each other. Passion dies when effort dies. And effort isn't just about grand romantic gestures, it's about the little things. The random compliments, the inside jokes, the small ways you make each other feel special. And let's be honest, sometimes relationships lose their spark because you've stopped taking care of yourself. You've stopped being the person your partner first fell in love with. You've let yourself become consumed by work, stress, routines, and you've lost touch with the version of you that was exciting to be around. If you want your relationship to feel alive, you have to feel alive. Pursue your passions, take care of your mind and body. Bring fresh energy into your relationship instead of expecting it to magically reignite on its own. One of the hardest truths about relationships is that they expose you. They reflect back your insecurities, your wounds, your triggers. And most people go into relationships hoping they'll fix what's broken inside them. But relationships don't heal you, they reveal you. If you're constantly feeling jealous, insecure, afraid of abandonment, that's not just about your partner, it's about you. It's about unhealed wounds from your past that you're projecting onto the present. And if you don't deal with those wounds, no relationship will ever feel safe enough. Healing is your responsibility. It's not your partner's job to constantly reassure you, to fix your past, to fill the void inside you. That's your work. Because the healthier you are, the healthier your relationships will be. You attract at the level of your self-worth. If you believe deep down that you're not enough, you'll attract people who reinforce that belief. But when you start seeing yourself as worthy, as whole, as enough on your own, you'll attract people who treat you accordingly. Let's talk about forgiveness. Holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. It doesn't hurt them, it hurts you. It weighs you down, it keeps you stuck in the past. And forgiveness doesn't mean excusing bad behavior. It doesn't mean letting someone back into your life who doesn't deserve to be there. It means letting go of the emotional weight so you can move forward without carrying their mistakes on your back. And sometimes the person you need to forgive the most is yourself. For the times you ignored red flags. For the times you settled for less than you deserved. For the mistakes you made in moments of weakness. Beating yourself up doesn't change the past. But learning from it, that changes your future. Now here's something that will completely shift your relationships. Stop making your happiness someone else's responsibility. So many people go into relationships thinking, once I find the right person, I'll be happy. But that's backward. Happiness isn't something you get from another person. It's something you bring into a relationship. If you're not happy alone, you won't be happy together, because no one can complete you. No one can fill the gaps inside you except you. And when you take full responsibility for your own happiness, something incredible happens. You stop being needy. You stop clinging. You stop feeling desperate for attention, validation, or love. Because you are love. You give love. And the relationships in your life become a reflection of the love you already have for yourself. At the core of every great relationship is one thing: respect. Love is emotional, but respect is foundational. Without respect, love fades. Without respect, communication breaks down. Without respect, you lose trust, and trust is the glue that holds everything together. If you want a relationship to last, don't just focus on keeping the love alive. Focus on keeping the respect alive. That means honoring your partner's boundaries. That means speaking to them with kindness, even when you're upset. That means valuing their perspective, even when you don't agree. It means choosing them every day. Not just when it's easy, not just when you feel like it, but even in the hard moments. Because love isn't about just feeling, it's about choosing. The relationships in your life are either lifting you up or pulling you down. Pay attention. Who do you feel energized around? Who makes you feel lighter, stronger, more yourself? And who drains you? Who makes you feel small? Not all relationships are meant to last. And sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is walk away from the ones that are keeping you stuck. You get one life, one chance to love, to connect, to build something real. Don't waste it on relationships that don't serve you. Don't settle for surface level connections. Show up, be intentional. Love deeply, and most importantly, start with yourself. Because the way you love yourself sets the standard for how everyone else will love you. A lot of people hold on to toxic relationships because they're afraid of being alone. They convince themselves that something is better than nothing. But settling for something that drains you, disrespects you, or makes you feel less than you are, is never better than being alone. Being alone is powerful. Being alone gives you clarity. It gives you the space to heal, to grow, to become the kind of person who attracts healthy love instead of clinging to unhealthy patterns. If you're afraid of being alone, ask yourself why. Is it because you don't trust yourself to be enough on your own? Is it because you're using another person to distract yourself from your own inner work? Because the truth is, the most important relationship in your life isn't the one you have with your partner, your family, or your friends. It's the one you have with yourself. If you don't respect yourself, if you don't love yourself, if you don't show up for yourself, you will keep accepting relationships that reflect that back to you. One of the most freeing realizations you can have is that you don't need to chase love. The right relationships, the right people will meet you at the level of the energy you put out. When you chase, when you beg, when you try to prove your worth to someone who doesn't see it, you're already losing. Because the people who are meant for you will never need convincing. They will see you, they will value you, they will choose you without hesitation. People waste so much time trying to change others, trying to get someone to treat them better, trying to make a person love them the way they want to be loved. But you can't change people. You can't make someone ready. You can't force someone to grow. They have to want it for themselves. And if they don't, the most loving thing you can do for yourself is walk away, not to punish them, not to make them chase you, but because you respect yourself too much to stay where you aren't valued. Boundaries are love, not just for others, but for yourself. A boundary says, I love you, but I love me too. A boundary says, I deserve to be treated with kindness, with honesty, with consistency. A boundary says, if you can't meet me here, I won't lower myself to meet you there. And the right people, the ones who truly care about you, they won't be offended by your boundaries. They will honor them because they want what's best for you. The wrong people will make you feel guilty for protecting your peace. The right people will respect it. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow, by what you accept, by what you walk away from. If you keep tolerating being disrespected, overlooked, taken for granted, that's what you will keep getting. But the moment you decide, I deserve better, everything changes. Not because the other person magically becomes who you need them to be, but because you change. You stop settling. You stop begging. You stop making excuses for people who don't show up for you. And in that moment, you step into your power. No relationship should cost you your peace. No relationship should make you question your worth. No relationship should leave you feeling drained, anxious, or like you're constantly proving your value. Real love, real friendship, real connection should feel safe. It should feel like home. It should be where you can be yourself without fear of judgment, where you can speak your mind without walking on eggshells, where you can be flawed and still feel deeply loved. People overcomplicate relationships, but at the core they are simple. They are about effort. They are about mutual respect. They are about making the other person's life better, not harder. If you're constantly questioning where you stand, if you're always the one giving while they take, if you're feeling unseen, unheard, or unappreciated, that's your sign. That's your answer. Love should not be confusing. When it's right, you'll know. When it's wrong, you'll always be wondering. People will show you who they are through their actions. Believe them. Stop making excuses for behavior that hurts you. Stop hoping that one day they'll wake up and change. Stop romanticizing potential while ignoring the reality of how they treat you now. Potential is a dangerous illusion. People don't fall in love with the real person in front of them. They fall in love with an idea of who that person could be. But the truth is, you don't build relationships on what could be, you build them on what is. And if what is full of red flags, inconsistencies, and disappointment, no amount of love will change that. Your time, your energy, your love, these are valuable things. Stop giving them away so freely to people who haven't earned them. Stop giving unlimited access to people who only show up when it's convenient for them. Stop letting people come in and out of your life as if your heart is a revolving door. You are not an option. You are not something to be picked up and put down when it suits someone else. You are worthy of consistency. You are worthy of effort. You are worthy of the same kind of love that you so freely give to others. And let's talk about self-worth, because at the root of every unhealthy relationship is a person who doesn't fully see their own value. If you truly believed in your worth, you wouldn't settle. You wouldn't tolerate half-hearted love. You wouldn't keep chasing people who don't choose you. But when you doubt your own worth, you look for validation in others. You cling to relationships that make you feel needed, even if they don't make you feel loved. You accept less than you deserve, because deep down you're afraid you won't find better. The truth is, your worth has never been up for debate. You were worthy the moment you were born. You were worthy before anyone told you otherwise. You were worthy before any heartbreak, before any rejection, before any mistake you've ever made. Your worth is not something another person gets to decide. It is something you have to claim for yourself. And when you do, when you really believe it, you will stop chasing. You will stop settling. You will stop doubting if you are enough, because you are. It all comes down to this: relationships should bring out the best in you, not the worst. They should add to your life, not drain it. They should challenge you to grow, not make you shrink yourself to be loved. And the love you accept from others will always be a reflection of the love you give to yourself. When you raise your standards, when you stop accepting less, when you walk away from anything that makes you feel unworthy, you make space for the right people to come in. It's time to stop settling for the bare minimum. It's time to stop waiting for someone else to make you feel whole. It's time to start showing up for yourself in the same way you've always shown up for others. Because the moment you do, the moment you finally decide that you are worthy of the love, the effort, the respect you so freely give, everything changes. The right people will rise to meet you. And the ones who can't, they were never meant to be there in the first place. At the end of the day, relationships are a reflection of how you see yourself. The way you let people treat you, the standards you set, the love you accept, it all starts with you. You don't need to chase, convince, or beg for the kind of love you deserve. You need to become the kind of person who believes they deserve it, who sets boundaries without guilt, who walks away when they're not valued, who chooses themselves first. Because when you do that, the right people will show up. The ones who respect you, who cherish you, who love you without conditions. The ones who don't require you to shrink, beg, or prove your worth. So if there's one thing you take from this, let it be this: you set the tone for your relationships. You decide what you will and won't accept. You are responsible for the love you allow into your life. And the moment you choose yourself, the moment you stop settling, the moment you raise your standards, not just for others but for yourself, that's the moment everything changes. Because real love, real connection, real relationships, they start with you.